line that is getting steamed like crazy since it opened at 6. UConn is now a 7.5-point favorite at DraftKings. Market high is 8.5 right now at one book that's across the country, not here in Nevada. But Wes, this kind of feels like we're getting to a point where it might just be an obligation to take points with San Diego State, and if UConn beats you, they beat you.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And look, I picked UConn to win the thing before the tournament and have a little bit of futures pending on them. I'm absolutely going to take the points with San Diego State and see if I could try to middle. And you mentioned the line, 7.5, pretty much in the market. There's an 8 if you're in Las Vegas at the Station casinos. That's the biggest I see on the screen right now. And look, here's recency bias, Jeff, because you have a UConn team that, let's be honest, they look like the best team in the tournament, and I think that they are the best team in the tournament. And this is a team, oh, by the way, defensively, I mean, how can you not be impressed with what this team has done? They have just been amazing. I mean, they held, Miami to 59 points. That was the number 5 offense in the Ken Palm. And then the game before in the Elite Eight, where we were last Saturday night over at T-Mobile, they hold Gonzaga, who is number 1 in the Ken Palm offensively, to 54 points. You hold Gonzaga and Miami to a combined 113 points. You're doing something right. And right now, I think they're 8th in adjusted defensive efficiency and 3rd in offensive efficiency. So, look, no surprise that they're getting bet. We always kind of see that, whether it's the college football playoff games, going into the national championship, or here tonight. San Diego State got kind of lucky. I thought Florida Atlantic should have won the game outright. I thought it was the Owls' game to win almost the whole time, and they didn't end up getting it done. Lamont Butler hits the shot at the end to win the ball game. So I think you're going to see, probably after the dust settles tonight, as we get into Sunday and then as we get into game day on Monday, you're going to see some buyback on San Diego State. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how high it gets. I think, again, that one rogue 8.5, I don't think will be there long. I think 8's got to be a buy point on the Aztecs on Monday night. Wes, just looking at this from the outright perspective here for San Diego State, if they're going to pull the outright upset, does this have to be one of those games that's like a 52-possession game, and you're just hoping your defense is able to hold up in a high-variance, low-possession game?
I think absolutely so, because if you look at Miami, by the way, 13 of 42 from the floor tonight, 0.92 points per possession. They were 7 of 20 from the 3. UConn was shooting in the mid 40% from the 3. They only shot 34.5% tonight, 9 of 26, but they got whatever they wanted at the rim tonight. Now, I think San Diego State is going to be a little bit tougher to score on for Sonogo and company down low, just because they have a lot more size than the Hurricanes did. Omier is their biggest guy, and he's been a good rebounder, but he's undersized down there. And we know what Dutcher likes to do. A lot of hockey line changes, basically, with this lineup. They're going 9 deep, so they can throw Mensah down there. They can throw Jaden Ledee down there. They can throw A-Rop down there off the bench, Keshad Johnson as well. So they have some size down low. And I think that that's what they're going to do. They're going to have different defenders on Sonogo the whole night.
It's going to be an interesting matchup again. San Diego State, to me, West has the physicality. I'm just not so certain they're going to score right now. 7.5 and 8 in the marketplace on UConn and San Diego State Monday night, 9:20 Eastern time. West, that's you and Humans are going to have the whole game on Monday night.
Yeah, that's good. We got something going on Monday night. Of course, we had fun last night with the Iowa and South Carolina women's Final Four semifinal that did 5.5 million viewers, most watched game in women's NCAA tournament history. So, good to have at least really good action during the shows.
So actually, Wes, that's exactly where I was going next. 3:30 Eastern time Sunday, LSU, Iowa on the women's side. This opened Iowa 1.5. It's now Iowa 3.5 with a total of 160.5. Wes, Caitlin Clark is amazing. She scored more points this postseason than the Iowa football team did all year. The only question I have here, now that we're seeing Iowa getting steamed here, are we at the point where you just take the points with LSU and see if this is a tight game? I do think Iowa ends up winning, but we're getting to a point where it's pretty hard to pass up points with LSU.
Yeah, I think we have gotten to that point. And it's not necessarily surprising. And in fact, just as you say that, I'm starting to see some of these 3.5s disappear and go down to 3. Because look, last night, I think a lot of it was, casual bettors that, it was one of the only things on Friday night that decided to bet Iowa simply because of Caitlin Clark. And look, that's a very good reason, because I think she's been the best player. I think she eventually probably wins Player of the Year. Leah Boston goes number 1 in the WNBA draft for sure, as we've kind of known for about a year. But I think with Iowa, I'm going to be interested to see what LSU does, because Iowa had a really good game plan, I think, offensively against South Carolina. And it's almost like nobody ever ran pick and roll on South Carolina in 36 games. They went 36-0 because South Carolina, quite frankly, looked lost in the pick and roll against Iowa. It wasn't just Clark scoring. She was finding open shooters. She was getting They were getting baskets down low. They got absolutely pounded on the boards. And I think LSU, probably with their size and athleticism, is going to do the same. So 3.5, if that's out there come later tonight or tomorrow morning, yeah, I'll have a small piece of LSU.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising for a coach as great as Dawn Staley. South Carolina had no idea what to do against the slip screens. Had no clue the entire night. And I would imagine with even on a day of prep, I would imagine that Kim Mulkey will have LSU a lot more prepared than South Carolina was.
Yeah, you would absolutely think so. And plus, I think that's the recency bias, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
They beat a 36-0 team that I think the streak was 42. Mm-hmm. That was a defending national champion. And they beat that team. So it's like, okay, LSU, who lost to South Carolina by almost 20 points, they got to be easy pickings. Not so fast.
And Iowa and LSU on the women's side, 3.5 and 3 right now on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Again, whoever wins that game on Sunday, it will be their first national title in women's basketball. Kind of amazing. I would have expected LSU to have at least been in the title game before, but they're in their first one. Iowa in their first one as well. 3:30 Eastern on Sunday for Iowa and LSU on the women's side.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.